A noble savage is a literary stock character who embodies the concept of an idealized indigene, outsider, or other who has not been corrupted by civilization, and therefore symbolizes humanity's innate goodness. In English, the phrase first appeared in the 17th century in John Dryden's heroic play The Conquest of Granada, 1672, wherein it was used in reference to newly created man. Savage at that time could mean wild beast as well as wild man. The phrase later became identified with the idealized picture of nature's gentleman, which was an aspect of 18th century sentimentalism. The noble savage achieved prominence as an oxymoronic rhetorical device after 1851, when used sarcastically as the title for a satirical essay by English novelist Charles Dickens, whom some believe may have wished to disassociate himself from what he viewed as the feminine sentimentality of 18th and early 19th century romantic primitivism. The idea that humans are essentially good is often attributed to the 3rd Earl of Shaftesbury, a Whig supporter of constitutional monarchy. In his Inquiry Concerning Virtue, 1699, Shaftesbury had postulated that the moral sense in humans is natural and innate and based on feelings, rather than resulting from the indoctrination of a particular religion. Shaftesbury was reacting to Thomas Hobbes's justification of an absolutist central state in his Leviathan, chapter 13, in which Hobbes famously holds that the state of nature is a war of all against all in which men's lives are solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. Hobbes further calls the American Indians an example of a contemporary people living in such a state. Although writers since antiquity had described people living in pre-civilized conditions, Hobbes is credited with inventing the term state of nature. Ross Harrison writes that Hobbes seems to have invented this useful term. Contrary to what is sometimes believed, Jean-Jacques Rousseau never used the phrase noble savage, French bon sauvage. However, the character of the noble savage appeared in French literature at least as early as Jean Cartier, colonizer of Quebec, speaking of the Iroquois, and Michel de Montaigne, philosopher, speaking of the Tupinamba, in the 16th century.